Look up right now and imagine a massive steam-powered rocket launching straight upward from an old, dusty Texas ghost town. History completely shifted when an unknown local genius in the 19th century finally figured out how to harness geothermal pressure. Forget about covered wagons crossing the plains, because pioneers immediately started building massive iron ships pointing toward distant orbit. The traditional frontier completely vanished overnight as simple blacksmiths transformed into brilliant aerospace engineers working with raw steel plates. Instead of mining for silver deep underground, thousands of citizens rushed to build towering launch pads across western deserts. By the late century, busy saloons featured telegraph screens tracking brave astronauts hurtling upward at thousands of miles per hour. Every major city along the eastern coast pumped billions of dollars into funding these wild atmospheric frontier exploration expeditions. Imagine riding your horse past a colossal brass capsule glowing with immense heat, just returning from the dark exosphere. Cowboys traded their traditional leather gear for thick, pressurized canvas suits designed strictly to survive absolute zero-temperature conditions. Local ranchers gazed through enormous brass telescopes from their front porches to spot floating orbital stations reflecting bright sunlight. The Great Railroad expansion suddenly stopped because building horizontal tracks felt useless when vertical flight offered absolute infinite possibilities. Huge steam engines generated millions of pounds of thrust, pushing heavy iron vehicles far beyond the thin blue atmosphere. Public schools entirely rewrote their science books to teach gravity physics instead of basic agriculture to eager young students. Imagine an incredibly bustling lunar colony, established well before gasoline cars even existed on the dirt roads of America. Adventurous African-American families packed their belongings into heavily modified atmospheric balloons, desperately hoping to secure a fresh start off-planet. Huge newspaper headlines across the country completely ignored political scandals to enthusiastically celebrate the first successful lunar surface landing. Massive communication dishes built from salvaged ship parts successfully transmitted scratchy audio signals down from miles above the clouds. Local sheriffs suddenly found themselves policing zero-gravity environments using specialized tether lines and heavy magnetic thick leather boots.
Every major state fair proudly displayed shimmering celestial space rocks directly alongside giant pumpkins and prize-winning local cattle.
This rapid technological leap completely transformed human ambition, as travelers spent months floating many miles above the dusty plains. The entire cultural identity of America radically shifted, from taming the Wild West to bravely conquering the cosmic ocean. Whole generations of ambitious kids grew up viewing the moon not as distant light, but as their future neighborhood. Our modern world would look wildly unrecognizable if those brilliant early engineers had successfully broken through the atmospheric barrier. We would probably be mining distant asteroids right now, instead of constantly fighting over highly limited resources down here. Would you have bravely dared to ride a steam-powered rocket into the unknown during the 19th century frontier?